Welcome back, my friend, and beautiful souls. I'm glad you could join me today for the third part of the prologue of my story. Today we are looking at some footage, mostly of me painting outside in the garden of my parents. It's footage from the early summer of 2023. Right after I visited my friends who lived in a little village next to a very beautiful city called Straubing in Bavaria, and while I was there I took many beautiful photos, and I decided to make a painting, and it's not finished yet, as all the paintings of the Prologue series are, and I'm very hopeful to finish it this year. It's now 2026, so it's almost 2.5 years since I started this one, and it's had a hard time, as you will see later on, because the surface has got some scratches and cracks due to the moves it had to make since then. I'm working again on a wood panel primed with gesso, white gesso, and I transferred a grid to the panel to get the sketch and the proportions right, and then I just started to plug in some colors, background colors. It's burnt sienna and burnt umber with a little mix of blue. I'm not sure which blue I used this time, but I would like to give it a nice mixture of different hues in the background to get the tones complemented. The subject is the big tower of the town and the so-called Trinity Column. it's really a beautiful monument, and it's really significant in the landscape, so you can barely miss it if you visit it. At that time it was really warm outside, and because of the smell of working with oils and the supplements, I like to work outside, although there are different obstacles you had to deal with when working outside. At this time I had no easel to work with. I tried to establish the sky in the background, but I went for a little more complex first layer of color. I'm going for some moody kind of sky, not just a straight blue, and I would like to add some different cloud shapes, but not too prominent, so it wouldn't take the focal point, but help with the too high architectural structures in the picture, which kind of divide the panel, and I tried to balance the shape of the sky a little bit. And here you can see some difficulties, but also one of the things I like the most painting outside is the light playing on the canvas. Sometimes it's really hard to see the colors right because the light changes so fast and hits on very different spots. As you can tell, I'm sitting right beneath a tree, and this helps, not directly shining on the panel, but also I love this kind of play the lights do because of how it's shining and looking through the leaves. I think it has some kind of little magical play. It reminds me sometimes of a surface out of water, and I like how the lights are dancing. As you can see, I used a chair instead of an easel, so it worked quite well for this format. I'm not sure how it would be when the panel had a different size, but this size fits perfectly and doesn't move much, so it worked really well. And what I want to say with this is you don't need the fanciest materials or even expensive equipment to paint. You just can work with really common things you found right around you. The complex figure on the Trinity Column is just laid out very basically, so I think I will maybe, but I'm not sure yet, just let it be very rough and don't work on too much detail here. And I had to admit that I love this unfinished stage of the painting. It had something very dramatic. I choose this view because my friends are really proud of their home and they are really loving this tower view. So the main goal was to make a painting and gift it to them, but as mentioned, it isn't finished yet, and in some kind of way I cannot explain really well, this lingers in my mind. I worked with a palette knife to get this marbled texture very easily. It's very busy, and at some point I was not sure if I liked this, and so I smoothed it out with a brush, but tried not to ruin all of the texture. And it's kind of tricky, I think. The tower has really light color. It's not purely white, but nearly. And this makes it look very flat at some point. So this is the stage I stopped working on the painting outside, and here you can see the mentioned scratches and dirt due to the handling of the painting, because it had to wait outside for a long time. And as you can see, I blocked in some basic gold on the figures of the Trinity Column. I would love to have you back, and if you like, please consider to follow and subscribe for more. I wish you a wonderful day and hope to see you next time. Bye!